Hello and welcome to It's Only Electric. I'm on the Swedish press event and release event of the IONIQ 9. This is the new 6 to 7 seater, sleekly designed big or full-size SUV. And today is about doing a brief review, but also test driving the car. So let's start with some facts.
It's only electric.
It's built on the eGMP platform, so the same platform as the IONIQ 5, IONIQ 6 and the Kia EV9. So some of the biggest competitors may actually be the EV9 itself. Otherwise you have the Volvo EX90, maybe the new Model Y long wheelbase version. We will see about that. But the car is very aerodynamic, so they're focusing on efficiency with active air flaps, for instance, some flash sides. As you see, you can also get it with fully digital side view mirrors. All those things to save energy and lower the drag coefficient. You can also see by the side profile of the car that this is inspired by the yacht industry or boats in general, because you see that the roofline, really nice looking one. Also from above, you will see that the car narrows the further backwards you go. So everything is to optimize the range of the car. And while speaking about the range, it has a bigger battery pack compared to its sibling from Kia, running on a 110 kilowatt hours pack instead of around 99. So 10 kilowatt hours more. That translates into a maximum range of 620 kilometers. This one though, with the bigger rims and the performance edition, has 600 kilometers flat. It measures 506 centimeters in total length with a wheelbase of 313 centimeters. So it's a big car with a place for a big battery pack. When it comes to power, this is the most powerful version, delivering 435 horsepower, 320 kilowatts or 700 newton meters of torque. It does 0 to 100 in 5.3 seconds with a top speed of 200 kilometers per hour. When it comes to charging, it's built on the 800 volt system, so it has a peak power of 240 kilowatts. So on a fast charger that can deliver up to 250 kilowatts, you will be able to charge it from 10 to 80% in 24 minutes, and that's good for such a big battery pack. When it comes to home charging, it supports 3 phases and 10.5 or almost 11 kilowatts. When it comes to the practical aspects, the boot capacity depending on the setup of the seats. Now, as you see, the third row is upfolded, which means that you have a total space here of 388 liters. And on top of that, of course, also the frunk. So the frunk on the four-wheel drive cars has 52 liters of extra boot capacity, 88 if you go for the rear-wheel drive version. You also have some extra storage here underneath. Stow away things like the partial shelf. Now it's underneath here to save some space. And you have nice things like 12-volt outlet. You can control or set the level of the boot or the lid. You have a normal vehicle to load outlet here at the back, very practical, delivering 230 volts. You can also operate the seats from here. Let me see the first or third row. I'll fold everything now, see what happens. As you see, third row folds down, second row also, and you get a really flat space. So with the third row folded, you have about 900 liters of boot capacity. So it's really practical, especially if you only travel 4 or 5 people. You'll be able to utilize a lot of space here at the back. And was talking about the practicality, you can also equip it with a tow hitch. And this version, the all-wheel drive version, has a tow capacity of 2.5 tons. If you go for the rear-wheel version, you will have 1.6. So to the second row, this might be one of the best places in this car. As you see, the front seat is adjusted after my driver position. I'm 6'4" or 193 centimeters tall. And as you see, there is plenty of legroom. I have a fistful of space before touching the front seat. I can also squeeze my feet underneath the front seat. That's comfortable. And thigh support is okay. Not that low as some of the other cars in the market. And now I'm sitting fairly straight. The backrest is actually possible to adjust, as you see here, for like adjusting it depending on how much space you need at the back. And of course also armrest here in the middle, well cushioned with 2 cup holders. Unfortunately they are not adaptive, and there is other comfortable things or features here at the back. For instance, you can get sunshades, manual sunshades, and you have heating, cooling at both outer positions, and also a third climate zone which you can control from the central unit. The air vent is placed in the roof instead of the B-pillars, which makes it a bit more convenient actually. Another nice feature is that you can open this central compartment from the rear too, so you can utilize the space here as a back row passenger. And some extra storage here. Looks like it's space for a refrigerator, but it is not. But things that you put in here can actually be accessed from this hole too, or opening. Another nice feature is all the tech in the car and the charging spots. You have USB-C ports at all rows, so 1 port for every passenger, and every port delivers 100 watts. And they can operate simultaneously, which means that they can charge not only phones but also laptops. But all in all, this Nappa interior and the seat feeling is good. They are a bit to the stiffer side, but gives you good support and have a nice touch, look and feel. And at the door pockets or the sides here, we have 2 more cup holders, so there's plenty of places to put your drinks on. So here at the front, if you compare the interior, I mean, all in all, the first impressions to the EV9, this is a bit more of a settled design. I mean, it's feels a bit more grown up, it feels a bit more loungy than other cars on the market. At the same time, they have combined that modern technology that they utilize with a lot of physical controls, which makes the car a bit more user friendly. Not in every case, but in a lot of cases. As you see here, the mid console consists of AC controls, for instance. On top of that, you have shortcuts, but also media controls. You have a volume knob, power on and power off. So you have a lot of controls here in the midsection. Underneath that, you have actually 3 different USB-C ports. One of them can deliver data. The other 2 is for charging only. You have a 12-volt outlet delivering 180 watts. Again, really practical when it comes to phone connections, etc. The mid console this is a big console. It's not the floating one. The floating one you can get for the 6-seater setup is actually adjustable. This one is fixed. But what we have here is 2 cup holders. You have a small control panel here where you can toggle the drive modes, but also activate things like auto hold, the park assist view, the park chimes, and hill descent controls. You also have a dedicated terrain mode at that position. A Qi charger, very well placed with rubberized touch, so it doesn't slipper around. You have very much storage in here. It's very deep, so when you remove this part, you can actually access it from here. I don't know if you see it on the image, but you can see my hand. So that means that if you use the bottom area here, you can actually store things that are accessible from the back. That's really smart. Otherwise, you have the traditional Hyundai setup of 2 digital screens, 12.3 inch both. So the central media screen is a touch screen, but also a lot of controls, as I said, is placed here. So a dual screen setup. Steering wheel, also practical, goes well hand in hand with the overall design. Here to the left, you have controls for the drive assist function, so you activate the drive assist functionality, steer assist, you adjust the speed, etc. You can also adjust the content on the instrument cluster. To the right, another great control area of physical buttons, more towards media, but also a shortcut, a favorite shortcut which you can customize to your thing. On top of the screens there is a head-up display. So you have all the drive aids you actually need in this car. And I didn't mention that, but it's equipped with the calligraphy line, so it means that you have all possible equipment in this car. For instance, the front seat is not the regular seats, it's kind of a relaxation seats with some extendable leg support, so kind of a rest mode, for instance when you charge the car or if you will take it for longer trips. Great for traveling in and resting in. They are ventilated, heated, and also has some kind of a light massage mode for keeping the driver active and alert. And since the car has 3 rows, we of course needs to test the third row too. And as you see, the front row or the second row is now upfolded, and if I close it here, you see it does have kind of a rail system, so we can adjust the position of the row. And now actually in fairly forward position, it's a lot of space, but I don't think this is a comfortable seating position for the second row passenger, but I can adjust it. And I think now I'm possible to fit. It's not the best position, but still you will be able to fit 2 persons here whilst having passengers in the front. But if you're too tall, like me, I mean, this is probably not a place you will sit in. That's nice though is that you can even adjust the angle of the backrest here. This is the most laid back position, and headroom is never a problem in the Ioniq 9. And that doesn't matter where you sit in the car actually. Here you see the USB-C port. Another clever thing is that you can actually clamp the seatbelt so you don't get stuck in it and it doesn't wobble around. Good feature. And individual air ventilations even at the third row. I mean, for being a 3-row car, I still think it brings some good and exclusive things here at the back too, even the cup holders. So well, on the inside of the Ioniq 9, it's all me and my coffee. So that's great to be alone in a car when you do press drives. It's a bit angry at me because I'm waving with my hands. I'm not looking straight forward. That's the driver monitoring system. I have turned off the speed limit warning though. You do that by long holding the volume knob on the right side of the steering wheel. Very easy to deactivate that, and I'm glad for that. This is the maxed out version called Calligraphy, and it's the all-wheel drive performance version I am driving now. So it's the fully spec'd car with 435 horsepower and 700 newton meters of torque. It does 0 to 100 in 5.3 seconds, top speed 200 kilometers per hour. Most powerful one with the most equipment, so it has it all. This is a 7-seater setup. It's a nice setup. I would probably go for the captain seats in the middle, so the 6-seater instead. But this is a great car if you want even more seats. This is the most premium car available from Hyundai now, and a car that's premium also needs to be silent. So they have worked a lot with the noise cancelling and the silence in the cabin. First off, this car is equipped with the Bose sound system, and the sound system as such is not only premium with better sound, it is also equipped with active noise cancelling. And on top of that you have acoustic glass windows, so dual pane windows all around. But also they have worked with the door seals, so they say that they had 2 to 3 times thicker door seals, and also insulated the motors, the drive unit, to lower the drive unit whining noisy sound. So I can confirm that despite driving on the 21-inch rims, 285s at the front and at the rear, that's the most noisy equipment you can get on the car, it's still very silent. And compared to my Zeekr 7X that I took to this place to be able to test drive this exact car, I can say that this is more silent, and I don't even need to do some measurements for it. It is a silent car. Let me have a walkthrough of the different drive modes. Fortunately, there is a drive mode selector, a toggler here at the mid console. So I toggle that and I can toggle between 4 different drive modes. So it actually starts with Eco, Normal, sport, and your individual mode called My Drive. And you immediately feel that the response of the accelerator gets slower and lower when pressing it. That's a big difference actually, and you can't get the full output. It feels like, or seems like on the screen, that it limits the output at almost like 60 or 50%, so you will only get like half of the power, probably driving on the rear drive unit only. And if we toggle to the next drive mode, we have the normal mode. Yes, then you have the full power, also the front drive unit active, but the acceleration curve is a bit more tame, but still a quick car. And the last mode is sport. It gets, let me see, yeah, the big difference is that at sport it gives you more power quicker, so the ramp up, the acceleration curve is shorter. When we toggle it to My Drive, you can see here on the screen that you can individually set 2 different settings. The first one is the motor, so you have eco, normal and sport. If you set the drive mode to sport, it will activate sport, of course. And the second thing is the steering, and that's the stiffness of the steering wheel, now set to sport. If we toggle that to normal, it gets a bit softer, or in sport it is a bit more, I think it's a bit more direct. Yeah, it's a bit more direct and a bit stiffer. I prefer it on sport, but with that said, even in normal, the steering wheel doesn't feel that numb and too soft. I think it's a good setup for the steering wheel, because some manufacturers tend to set it too soft and you lose all the feeling when you drive the car. That's not the case for this car. Let us move over to the suspension, the motor and the steering at sport. There is no settings for the suspension, and there is a reason for that, because the IONIQ 9 does not come with air suspension or adjustable active dampers. At the front you have regular springs and dampers. There's only one setting, you can't change it. And at the rear you have active dampers, but not adjustable. You can't change the settings of it. So the suspension doesn't feel too soft, and it really doesn't feel too hard. It's a good trade in between. And I must say that it's also very silent, doesn't give you any miss sounds, and it seems to be handling curves and rough road good. So I wouldn't worry about having active suspension, active dampers or air suspension, because this seems to be a good enough setup in most cases anyway. The only thing you may miss is the height change if you like driving a lot in snow or off-road, which most people don't do. But if you do, you may consider cars with air suspension. Other than that, I think you'll be perfectly fine without that. So to another important aspect when you are into EVs, and that's regen. Regen is, at least if you ask me, one of the most important things when it comes to EVs, and Hyundai and Kia knows that, because they are good at regen in general. Let me state it that way. And that also goes for the IONIQ 9, because it's, as the other eGMP cars, equipped with paddles, one at the right and one at the left. And the one to the left is to decrease the amount of regen. And if you set it to level 0, that means coasting. If you long press it, it gets into a mode called auto, and this is where things change a bit. Hyundai calls it generation 3 of their auto regen setting or configuration, and it's kind of a blend, and it automatically adapts to the condition. This kind of auto regen modes hasn't really been that good, if you ask me, because they can only adapt depending on the cars in front of you. So if you have a free roll and no one in front of you, you let go and it coasts like it does now. And if you have cars in front of you or traffic lights with cars in front of you, it will add regen and come to a stop. That's the normal auto mode. In this car, with the new generation automatic regen, it actually also adapts to the GPS and the road. So that means that if you are entering a runabout or a crossing, it will brake for you. And that is actually a very big thing, if you ask me. And I'm really not a fan of auto regen. So for me, this is really a big step in the right direction, because they are actually point on when it comes to my concern for auto regens. Because I think that auto should be auto in every case, not just in some cases, like it is for most brands. Because in this case, it actually has more parameters to it, and it acts more like a auto mode for regen in more cases, and you can utilize it better, and it's a bit more smart. And I really appreciate that. When I use the left paddle, I increase the amount of regen, and there is a couple of levels. So level 1, it's really low regen, the regens all the way. Level 2, a bit more, fairly aggressive actually, and level 3 is even more regen. There's a lot of regen on both motors, and the thing is that it doesn't come to a full stop. It's like rolling. If I press the left paddle once more, it will go into my favorite mode, and that's called I pedal. And that's the one pedal driving mode that I always recommend on all cars that has that, because that's the mode that when you get used to it, you won't drive any other mode. Because when I let go of the accelerator, it has kind of a linear or very straight curved regen. It's very predictable, it's very easy to get used to, and it comes to a full stop, which means that for city driving, in dense traffic, at red lights, at crossings, etc., you will only use your right foot. And this is a thing that has been good for years now when it comes to Hyundai and Kia. A great implementation of regen. So when it comes to the seats, this is the Nappa leather premium seat, since it's the calligraphy. They are ventilated, they are heated, they have some kind of mild massage setting. I like the seats. It comes to the seating position, I mean, you can really adjust it for tall people too. You don't have any thigh extender, but the seats are fairly deep anyway. And the good thing is that the angle you can adjust it in, if you have long legs like I have, is really good. You will have enough of support. Another good thing that I like with the seat is that you have these side bolsters, and there is a button to adjust, or a wheel to adjust the tightness of the side bolsters. So that can really help you if you want to drive a bit more active, or if you want to feel the sides of it. One of the most important settings if you want to find the best sitting position. Another good thing that I like is that the headrests are of course adjustable, and not only height-wise, also depth, so x-axis, and you can find a really comfortable sitting or driving position in this car. So let me try to summarize my experience with the Hyundai IONIQ 9. I mean, first off, the price. It starts at 759,000 Swedish crowns or 68,000 euros. That's, to be honest, surprisingly low, at least for what I expected. So competitively priced here. If you go for the top spec version, it's closer to 900,000 Swedish crowns or 89,000-90,000 euros, depending on the trim level you get. I mean, this is one of the more expensive versions of it. And with that said, there is a couple of competitors on the market, like the upcoming Model Y 7-seater, but in particular, for the moment, the EV9 and the Volvo EX90. I think those two may be the most, close cars and competitors available just today. And among those cars, I think this is for me, the most compelling one. I mean, first off, the design, the exterior, it's a bit more sleek, it's a bit more timeless, looks a bit more sophisticated compared to the EV9. And compared to the EX90, I don't think it's really a competition here, because I mean, it has a great battery pack, great range, it has more equipment, and things actually work in this car. I've had a lot of issues with the EX90, and when it comes to the price, there is actually no competition at all. I mean, this is a great choice. So if you're after a 6 or 7 seater, sleek looking car from a known brand, this may be one of a few alternatives on the market today. So I hope you enjoyed this video and that I could shed some light over the Ioniq 9. I will lend the car or have it for a week to do some more excessive testing later on. So stay tuned for those videos. But until then, stay electric. Thank you for watching. Speak to you soon.